Well, Eddie Howe has held his first press conference ahead of the Sela Cup at the weekend, updating us with what his plans are for certain players, injuries that are still going on in the squad, unfortunately. But he's very optimistic about the season ahead and very excited about a couple of new signings possibly still to come through the door at Newcastle. So let's have a look. Hi everyone, I'm Paul. Welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel. And the daily news today is basically about Eddie Howe's press conference and what he had to say this morning regarding everything ahead of the Sela Cup at the weekend. Of course, Newcastle United playing on Saturday and Sunday, so will play two different teams, but which first team players will be in each team, and will it give us an idea of who will be that start 11 that take on Aston Villa in a week's time? I'm not so sure it will. We tried to work that out last season, of course, when they played a doubleheader, and it was very difficult because he played the back four, well, back five really if you include Nick Pope, and then on the Saturday, he played even more different players. So it's very difficult to work Eddie Howe out, certainly with what he says about transfers and things like that. But let's look and see what the manager had to say. First of all, he said it's going to be great to be back home. It feels like it's been a long time since we played at St James's Park. We're looking forward to our two games. And I think that'll generate throughout the players as well. Obviously, they've been to America. They've done the pre-season against Gateshead and Rangers. And they come into the Sela Cup, I think, reasonably pleased with the way the summer series went in the US. Some good performances, some standout performances from some players as well, which need giving credit for. Of course, you talk about Elliot Anderson, Lewis Miley. I expect those two to be involved again in the tournament over the weekend. But they are facing European opposition this time, so it might be a little bit different to what we faced in the summer series. It all depends on how far the different opposition are down the road of their pre-season. Of course, some leagues start later than others, and some pre-season start earlier or later than others as well. So it'll be interesting to see where these European teams are at, ahead of the games. First of all, he spoke about injuries as well. Fabian Schär, who of course went off with an injury in the summer series final game. It didn't look great. He didn't look too happy about it either. Eddie says we're going to have to make a late decision on Fabian on whether he's involved. He's certainly very close. So that's a bit optimistic, but Joe Willock, unfortunately, he won't be involved in either game. He's still working his way back to full fitness. Emil Kraft, he won't be involved either. So obviously Emil's still working on getting back to fitness. A horrendous injury. It would have been nice to have seen Emil Kraft actually over the weekend, getting some minutes on the pitch, but it doesn't look like he's anywhere near close to getting back on the pitch. Joe Willock is a funny one for me because obviously, he did his hamstring in the final home game of last season, but unfortunately that is obviously still causing him some trouble. But he's, as Eddie said, he's working hard to get back to full fitness. So I don't think he's going to be involved against Villa next week at all. Maybe on the bench as part of the squad if he is, if he is training fit, but he certainly won't be match fit. So we'll not see Joe Willock for a while yet. Fabian Schär is somebody that obviously we know he can pick up injuries and then just shrug them off. 1 minute he looks like he's down and out. The next he's back up and just playing hell with everybody again. He's like a Terminator, isn't he? But they won't want to risk him. They will not want to risk him ahead of the Premier League start. He has got plenty of minutes in the tank now on pre-season, so it's going to be very interesting to see if he does involve him at all or whether he comes on for a 20-minute cameo in one of the games from the bench just to get some more minutes in the tank. But I certainly think the way it's going, I think he'll be involved definitely against Aston Villa, but they're not going to take any risk on him at all, which I think is understandable because, we know Fabian obviously is getting older now and injuries take longer to recover from as that age creeps up on you. Now, on playing European opposition, Eddie said this season has been a bit different because we played 3 Premier League teams. They were really good tests for us because they let us directly know where we are and where we need to improve. The European teams are slightly different styles, and we're playing 2 teams from different leagues, so it's a good rehearsal for us. Again, just what I was talking about before, obviously the 3 Premier League teams in the summer series was a very, very good test for Newcastle United. But this weekend will be as well, because obviously, let's not forget, we're in the Champions League. So to play European teams, now, are these teams Champions League calibre? We'll have to see how good they are when they turn up across the weekend. But it gives us a chance to play against European opposition who we know play quite differently to what we do in the Premier League. Sometimes it doesn't work for them because the Premier League's speed and agility and pressing, it kind of gets one over the European teams quite often, unless you're sort of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Munich, those type of teams who are a very high pressing team as well. But I think the test it's going to be, he'll take it seriously. We know that he doesn't like to just go out there in friendlies and not perform. We saw that in the friendlies that we've already seen. He's always making notes, is Eddie. He's always looking to change it should it need doing and things like that. And let's face it, that first game in the Sela Cup, sorry, not the Sela Cup, the summer series out in America, when we were getting whopped off Villa, and then suddenly the drinks break came around and he read the riot act at some players, and it worked, and we bounced back in that game. So he will be taking it seriously, but I'm very interested to see if Jason Tindall will be alongside him in the technical area, because of course when the Premier League starts, Tindall won't be allowed in there. So will he be trying to get some practice in and sit on the bench and try and keep calm? Or will he be standing somewhere, he'll be standing up in front of the dugout, but he'll not be in the technical area. But look, I'm looking forward to the Sela Cup because I think Eddie's going to take it seriously, like I say, and I think it's going to be interesting to try and work out which players are going to be in his starting 11 come next Saturday. So it is very exciting. Now, on Elliot Anderson, he said he's done very well. He's come back very fit and looks very motivated. He's scored goals and I see a lot of aspects of his game improving. I have high hopes for him. We've got a load of games this year, so he's got a big part to play. So again, basically, Eddie reiterating that Elliot Anderson is going absolutely nowhere. Not a chance is he going anywhere. He is part of Eddie's first team plans this season. And for me, I'm absolutely over the moon for the kid. He's proved in pre-season what he can do. Like Eddie says there, we've noticed that when we've watched him play. He looks hungry. He looks like he's bulked up a bit. He looks like he's very fit as well and can, sometimes when you watch Elliot Anderson in the past, when he started games, he seems to have, tired very quickly in the second half. But not this time around. Very humid conditions, of course, in America. Hot as well. And he lasted brilliantly. And he's always causing problems. He's willing to take players on now. He's willing to shoot. He's missed a couple of sitters in pre-season, but he's also scored some quality goals. And he's got to be in that position. Let's be honest, Elliot Anderson gets himself in that position all the time. We aren't going to complain because 9 out of 10 times he's going to smash the back of the net. So he's a big part of Eddie Howe's plans. So we'll see Elliot Anderson a lot this season. And it's going to be a very, very big test for him. And I think Elliot Anderson will come through with flying colours because if he proves himself this season that he can handle it all, then he's got a massive future at this football club. He really has it. And the fans are right behind him, and I think that will help him as well. He's got the support of the fans and certainly got the support of the coaching staff. So can't wait to see Elliot Anderson in action. Now, on new signing Sandro Tonali, he said it's been a big change for him, but he's adapted to his surroundings really well. He's got good friendships in the squad already. He's a really good character. He's very calm and focused on his football. So I'm seeing really good signs for him. Now, of course, Sandro Tonali caused a little bit of, sections of the fans saying that, he doesn't look that great. Give over, right? This guy is quality. We've seen him play for Italy. We've seen him play for Milan. This guy has got quality, and he's coming into a Premier League which plays a completely different type of football to Serie A. It's a lot quicker. It's a lot tougher, and Sandro's got to get used to that. He was tested a lot, certainly against Rangers and the physicality in the summer series as well. So that will have done him the world of good, certainly the summer series, to get used to the pace of Premiership football and things like that, because that's what he's going to face. But it's great to know from Eddie there that he's making good friendships in the squad. Particularly, we can see on photographs with, Joe Linton and Bruno, for example. So that's great to see. And that can only benefit us because those three could be our midfielders next week, if he starts them all. And friendships off the pitch are very important as well as the on. So it can only benefit Newcastle United. But, he's got to bed in. Let him bed in. I think a lot of fans are quickly jumping here saying, oh, we paid so much money for him, he should be up and running straight away. That doesn't always work out. And it's certainly over the years, we've seen the big name players coming into the Premier League have taken a bit of time to settle. You look back in the day to Thierry Henry, Robert Pires at Arsenal. Those two took a season to get going. And look how they turned out. Joe Linton, 2 years, just didn't think we were going to do anything. Moved position, granted, but my God, what a player he's become. So let's give Tonali time and let's just admire what he does on the pitch, because certainly the guy has got tremendous vision before he even gets the football, and it's wonderful to watch. So let's just hope he is given that time by the fans to settle on the pitch, and we see the very, very best of him pretty much as soon as he gets going, because this guy is special, guys. He really is, and I think the fact that Eddie's seen some really good signs for him is a massive positive for Newcastle. Now, on Harvey Barnes, finally, Eddie said that he's been at Leicester for a long time, from a very young age. So what would have been a big thing for him to move, but I'm excited about what he can bring. He's certainly shown already that he's a goal scorer. And, I'm excited to see Harvey Barnes. I know some people weren't happy to see Maxi go and Barnes come in. Look, we have to accept, and everybody has to accept, that Maxi's not here anymore, and we need to look forward now to the future and the players who are going to be here for that future. And the age bracket that we've brought in these players, very young, haven't really hit the peak yet, which is fantastic for us as a football club, that we get to watch these players hit the peak. And that's what's exciting me. And Harvey Barnes is one of those. He's willing to take players on. He can shoot on his left. He can shoot on his right. And he can also put a cross in. So the likes of Callum Wilson, Isak, whoever it is up top, they're going to benefit from this. And certainly, you look at Anthony Gordon as well. He has the ability to play on both wings. We've got Miggy there as well. Midfield and up top, we are absolutely fantastic with pace this season, players that can take people on, and let's just hope that, we don't get a rush of injuries or anything like that, and this squad can stay fit for the majority of the season. I know that doesn't always happen, but let's just keep fingers crossed, because it is very exciting. Newcastle United going forward this season are just so exciting and will be so exciting to watch, and it's such a positive. I can't wait for them to get going and see, we talked about it on the show as well. Players coming off and then being replaced by similar quality players coming back onto the pitch, where in the past we haven't had that. So that's also very, very exciting for the start of the new season. Now, also Eddie did touch on transfers and said that the Livramento deal, he doesn't know much about it. It's nothing to do with him. It's been dealt with by other people at the football club. But he said exactly the same about Harvey Barnes. He said the same about Barnes when Barnes was sitting in another room in America. So you never know with Eddie. Obviously, he doesn't want to promise the fans anything in case anything does take a downward spiral or medicals and things like that. So he's keeping coy about it. And certainly at the moment, he's still a Southampton player. He's not Newcastle's yet. So I'm sure, Eddie will come out and talk about that when he needs to and when he actually signs. But also on the transfer front, he did mention that he still wants one or two more players in. Now, he didn't say what positions they were. I can only hope that one of them is a centre-back, a right-sided centre-back, to cover for Fabian Schär should he be injured, because I think that will be a worry to Eddie Howe. I know Jamal Lascelles is there, but do we really think Jamal Lascelles is a Champions League quality defender? I'm not too sure. Certainly he can play the cup games and things like that and step in for the odd league games should he need to, but we do need somebody to cover that position. And I think Newcastle will be working hard on that. We've seen a couple already mentioned, like Desazia, etc., who's gone elsewhere. Bonucci's still on the radar. Do we get him in for a year? I don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes at Newcastle United, but I'm sure all will be revealed before the end of the window, because there's less than a month to go now. So, the window is starting to close in again. And it's very exciting because, the manager's come out and said that there could still be one or two through the door. So a very good press conference for me, a very positive one from Eddie. Obviously, I've just picked little bits out of the press conference. I haven't gone through it all. We'll probably touch on that more in the live show later on today. So if you're watching this on the Friday, tune in at 7 o'clock with me and Billy, and we'll touch on this a lot more press conference and some of the other things that Eddie said throughout it. So I've only touched on what I thought is a few of the main points there. But if you have enjoyed the video, guys, please do hit that like button, give it the thumbs up. It does help us stay up there in the YouTube search results, etc. And with your help, we'll get to 23,000 subscribers very, very quickly as well by hitting that subscribe button, which is free to do so, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Of course, you can become a member of the Toon Review as well if you hit the join button just underneath, and we are on all social media platforms, so search for the Toon Review on there. And we also, of course, have Patreon, so if you want some extra podcasts from the Toon Review that aren't in front of the camera, head across there. The link is in the description. Sign up for a small fee every month to get lots of podcasts from the Toon Review. But let me know in the comments what you think about what Eddie had to say. Are you going to the Sela Cup? Are you excited about it? And certainly, Premier League kickoff is only a week away as well, so we're buzzing about that as well, guys. So, like I say, let me know in the comments what you think, and have a great rest of the Friday, and we'll see you on the live show at 7 p.m. Take care, everybody.